So I have a love-hate relationship with Miraculous Ladybug, which made me worried for the New York special. And honestly, it was better than I expected it to be. In fact, it gave me high standards for the Shanghai special, but I will talk about that another time. The New York special was great for so many reasons, but there are three-ish main things that I want to focus on: character growth, world building, and the overall story. Miraculous Ladybug has a bad habit of erasing character growth. What I mean by that is that characters may find out something major, crucial. It will change the entire foundation of the show sometimes, or it affects multiple people around them. And it gets undone by the end of the episode, or forgotten completely, mostly with the love square. Examples can be found in Chat Blanc, Oblivio, and Puppeteer 2. In Chat Blanc, they figure out each other's identities, fall in love, and they even figure out that Gabriel is Hawkmoth. And it gets erased and no one remembers it. Even Ladybug, who technically lived it, doesn't know what happened, so she doesn't know that she erased that part of the timeline. In Oblivio, they have amnesia, but fall in love, and kiss, which is captured in a photo. But at the end of the episode, everything is reset to status quo. In Puppeteer 2, it annoys me so much because it really felt like they were building up to Marinette finally telling Adrian how she feels. She was struggling with it throughout the whole episode, but Chat gave her advice and she gives this look as if like, okay, I'm going to take that advice and I'm going to tell Adrian about my feelings, finally come forward, and nothing happens. So you can understand my worry for the Miraculous New York special, when they seem to be building up these arcs for the characters to go through. However, everything they learn or emotionally go through isn't erased by the end. Not only were they not erased, but they felt more mature than previous story arcs. I love how both Marinette and Adrian's arcs kind of not mirror each other, but are able to interact off of each other. Adrian renouncing Plague because of his mistakes makes sense. One, it's already been set up in Siren when he was going to give up Plague and his reasoning was that no one would notice. He has felt useless or worthless or like he's not really part of the team, not important, before in the partnership. So this might have sealed the deal, the idea that he's made that many mistakes and disappointed her, so she doesn't need him. Two, Adrian lacks social skills and Gabriel, who is his main social agent, is the one to blame because he punishes him for every small mistake. So it makes sense that when he almost killed Uncanny Valley and his partner is clearly mad at him to the point of him feeling like he's just disappointed her, he would think that he is no longer worthy of being shot. He thinks he has messed up so bad that she doesn't want him. When he hears the opposite, he comes back and their relationship is stronger and has grown from that experience. From my point of view, Marinette has two roles to play in this episode. One is to go through her emotional arc of learning to be honest about her feelings towards Adrian. And two, to just set up some crucial plot points or ideas for season 4. And I didn't really notice that until after I've watched a couple episodes of season 4 and then went back and watched the New York special. But I've noticed them, so we're going to talk about them. At the beginning of the New York special, we know that Marinette has just taken on the responsibility of being the guardian of the Miraculous. Sorry that I just messed up there. It's been a long day of recording, so I'm going to mess up a lot. Anyways, she's just taken on the responsibility of being the new guardian of the Miraculous. And we know that is a lot of responsibility for her to take on. And we've already seen her kind of doubt herself or crack under the pressure of the responsibility of being Ladybug. And Chat was the only one that was able to kind of snap her out of her doubt most of the time. And now she's going to New York. And she's leaving Shot in charge, and she thinks everything's going to be fine. But when she sees everything's not fine and one thing leads to another, I personally think she sees it as a chain of events. She thinks that it all started probably when she decided to go to New York. She sees that New York, sorry. She sees that as an irresponsible move that she shouldn't have done. She's the guardian of the miraculous. She shouldn't have done that. Not only that, but she's lost her partner, so she doesn't think she can do it. She doesn't even snap out of that funk completely until Shaq comes back. And this sets up a lot of neat things to think about for season 4. Because again, I didn't realize it until I watched season 4 that they were probably setting it up for that. One, the idea that she's going to let the responsibility get to her. The pressure, at least, get to her. It's going to stress her out. We see her thinking, I can't have a relationship because I'll be telling them a bunch of lies. I don't know how to balance everything, for the fact that she even asks Shaq, like, how do you do it, man? You just act so cool and all that stuff, and it doesn't look like it's getting to you, but it's clearly getting to her. There's even a point, I forget what episode, but at the beginning of the episode, she just is shutting everyone out, and Alia's like trying to snap her out of it, and she just won't snap out of it. She's trying to find a way to like stop Hawkmoth and all that stuff. And it makes sense now, because when you watch the New York, well, it makes sense anyways, but especially when you watch the New York special, you realize she was already kind of cracking under the pressure. She already made one mistake. She went on a trip, and it caused a bunch of terrible things to happen. I'm not saying it's her fault. I don't know if anyone's saying it's her fault, but I think she sees it as her fault. And she doesn't want to do that again, and the pressure is getting to her. And I think the New York special did a great job of showing that slightly. Like, you gotta read between the lines or think, wow, okay, Marinette, this might stay with her for a little bit. Right? They didn't erase the character development, they used it. The New York special did a great job of adding more to the Miraculous world. It introduced a new Miraculous and how there are other superheroes in the world. Up until then, we thought the Miraculous holders were the only superpowered human beings or beings in general. And now we know that there's way more, or at least in New York there is. It also adds little facts and how the magic of the Miraculous hides their identities, and the fact that it hides the identities from humans, but tech can figure it out no problem, which is why Uncanny Valley was able to tell that Marinette was Ladybug and Adrian was Cat Noir no problem. Now, don't get me wrong, that causes some plot holes, for example, with Robustus, but you know what? Miraculous is riddled with plot holes that have just been up in my brain for years now, so I'm just going to take it because I need something to convince me that they aren't complete idiots in this world. They also expand on Hawkmoth in terms of showing how, I think I said that wrong, terms of showing how diabolical he is. I think it's like, to that point, in my opinion, he hasn't been that threatening. I think most of the times that he's been threatening is maybe in the finale, the idea that he has this big giant plan concocted, but still you kind of know that he's going to be defeated. But now that you know that he has this all laid out plan, I don't know how to explain it, but the way that he sends Adrian away, and he has this whole alibi, and then he goes to New York, and the fact that he was going to probably start a war just makes him more diabolical and a little bit more threatening and annoying. I just don't like him in general, but that's a good thing. He's a villain. I'm not supposed to like him. And that's all I got for world building. It was pretty good, but if I go on longer, I think this video will be way longer than it needs to be. So, on to the last point. So this blends everything I've been talking about together in some way, shape, or form. The story, for what is told, does a great job of developing the characters and the world. It also fits into the Miraculous story, showing us that there are other guardians out there, or at least people that know about the Miraculous, which adds into at least one episode in season 4. both the Adrianette and Lady Noir relationships grow stronger, or just grow in general. Adrianette, in a way, they kind of address how, when you think about it, have they had really a friendship up to this point? I mean, they have, but we haven't seen them hang out as much or stuff. It's slowly been building, so it makes sense that Marinette maybe think, maybe I'm not in love with Adrian, maybe I need to just be friends with him right now, and all that stuff. The New York special is by far my favorite, or one of my favorite Miraculous Ladybug episodes. And if you asked me when I first watched it, I probably would have given it just a 10 out of 10 because I was crying. Uh, but after watching it a second time, I see that it's not perfect. I didn't really go into this video, but it isn't perfect, as with any piece of media. So my overall ranking is going to be an 8.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching, and remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!